Hey everybody, my name is Groove and this is a show I like to call Thinking Out Loud. Now last week, we talked about Green Lantern for a little bit longer of a video than I usually make, and this was originally supposed to be part 2 of that video, and looking back on the length, maybe I should have made this a two-parter, because I have a lot more to say about Green Lantern than I did say, and I could probably go on for another hour. But you guys probably don't want to hear about that, and having multiple things about Green Lantern would probably get really old really fast. So, we're switching gears, and we're going to talk about the second favorite comic of mine. I have a list of comics in order of, tiered, and Green Lantern is number 1. And number 2 we'll come back to, because that's the topic for this week. And you've already seen it in the title bar, so it's not like it's a secret or anything, but I just kind of want to get, I would have to say number 3 would probably be 100 Bullets. Number 4 would be... Oh, man. It's a hard call. Number 4 and number 5 are really close. One of them is Why the Last Man. And the other one is... God, I hate this. I hate when this happens. It's a problem with my brain where I forget what I'm saying as I'm saying it, so I don't remember it. It's the kind of thing like I forgot the word book once. That was a fun hour of my life. Hell, I don't remember the name right now. And that feels stupid. I guess maybe numbering it was probably silly anyway, but like a short list of comics I like are, Why the Last Man, 100 Bullets, big fan of Wrestle by the guy, he's the same guy who did Bone, I think, which also fantastic. If you haven't read Bone, it's fucking fantastic. I liked Fables, what I read of Fables. See, I can remember the name of the hero from the comic book. It was the Great Machine. It was a politician. But I don't remember the actual name of the book. I remember the name of the first, paperback collection, which is the first 100 days. Oh, Ex Machina. That was it. God, I feel stupid. Ex Machina. I think I like Ex Machina more than Why the Last Man, but not quite as much as 100 Bullets. Irredeemable is fantastic as well. Basically, I think Green Lantern might be the only consistent favorite I have among the top label books. This isn't really like I'm 3 minutes in, and I'm still talking about comic recommendations, and I could go on and just say read this, and this. I might do that at some point. Put together a list of essential comics from whatever decade, and I gotta admit, I'm a DC fan more than a Marvel fan, and that's gonna show. Because this is about my number 2 of all-time comic. It was originally Helix, which was a DC imprint, and when that folded, went under, it transferred to Vertigo, and that's Transmetropolitan. Now, I haven't talked about Transmetropolitan in a couple of years. Actually, I believe it was the summer of 2013 was the last time I talked about Transmet. And I remember because I recorded a video comparing Mitt Romney and his, at the time, new choice for candidate for vice president, now the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. And I compared them to Gary Callahan and his initial vice presidential candidate, whose name escapes me because it's unimportant, from Transmetropolitan. Gary Callahan is, of course, the Smiler, who is basically the series-long antagonist. The closest thing to it, anyway. And I made a video comparing them, and then that was right at the beginning of a weird time for me, because I went as close to off the deep end as I could, and I started supporting libertarian politicians, and I actually voted for one in the election in 2012. So I guess this would have been summer 2012. So it's been a lot longer. It's been a year longer than I thought. Yeah, it was summer of 2012 because I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012. To be fair, I stand by that today because my choices were Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, and they were both terrible choices for different reasons. But I don't really. I try to stay out of politics on my channel because this is supposed to be a gaming channel, not a listen to me ramble about politicians channel. Good. I have another channel for that. And if people want to hear me talk about politics, I will talk about politics. It is January 6th, 2016 today. This is going to be coming out on the 18th. We are 10 months from the presidential election, and I will gladly talk shop most of the year on my other channel. Just let me know. But this is about Transmetropolitan. Transmetropolitan is not for everyone. It is vulgar. It is offensive. I have a lot of I have some problems with it myself, going back and reading it for the first time in a couple of years, because I have been I've realized a few things about discourse and the way it should be handled, in as much as I can't really read it to that level anymore. Things that are said that just like, wow, that's not cool to say. And part of it is because the character of Spider Jerusalem is intentionally vulgar and offensive and trying to piss people off as much as he can, because inside that is the kernel of truth that he's getting at, and sometimes it's easier to get at the truth of people if you poke them where it hurts. And that's an uncomfortable truth to say. It's an uncomfortable thing to say, because a lot of the times what you hear is nice words, and it's very true. Sometimes the truth hurts, and I'm not Spider Jerusalem. I don't think I ever could be. I don't think I ever want to be. But that said, I don't know how to word it. He is he's an offensive shit. That much I know. And it's a good comic. It really, it was one of the, like I said, it was one of. I have basically at this point I have 3 favorite. Can I even say 3? I don't know if I can even say 3 at this point. No, 3, because Neil Gaiman is on that list. I have basically, if it's Warren Ellis, I'll read it. Because of Transmetropolitan, if it's Warren Ellis, I'll read it. If it's Grant Morrison, I'll probably read it. I won't understand it, but I will read it. And if it's Neil Gaiman, I'll read it in a heartbeat. It's fantastic. But, Warren Ellis is fantastic. He has a way with words. He wrote my all-time favorite single graphic novel, intended to be released as a graphic novel, and that's Orbiter. It is fantastic. It includes everything that I love about science and space travel, and people should go out and find it and read it. I know that my local library carries it. I don't know about anybody else's. But anyway, Transmetropolitan. I don't know that a lot of people I know would even like Transmet, because things are said in that series which are not family friendly, they're not people friendly, it is not a series which is safe for work, as they say. And so, as such, I don't know if anybody I know would really, really deeply appreciate it, because it's not shiny and happy like Marvel Comics. It's not shiny and depressing like DC. And, it runs for far more than the IDW allotted 6. It's controversial. It's intentionally controversial, I think. Because Warren was writing about the city as he saw it. the city as, like, he was writing it at a time when the Monica Lewinsky scandal was happening. And that kind of got cross-eyed and turned into, a segment on politics, which I have found to be amazing. I want to recommend it, but I don't know if I can. It's a good series in as much as it will make you think about things in ways that you may not realize that you need it to. It will offend you, it will punch you in the face, and it will call you names. And those are not its high points. But it will also make you think about why we do things a certain way. Like, one of the more moving issues for me is there's an early issue. It's in the first year, so it's one of the first 12, and it's an issue about someone from our time, because this takes place at some unnamed point in the future. I don't even know, but it's someone from our time who died of a heart attack, and after her death her head was placed in a liquid nitrogen cryonics chamber, and she was then revived at some point in the future when they could get to her, because they had an obligation to do so because it was a contract. And it talked about how this segment of people who needed it most was left behind and cast aside and put all in one place and just kind of ignored by society. And I know what that feels like, to be ignored by society. So, it was moving, and it made me think a lot about why we do things the way we do. And one of the early letters columns illustrates this, and it's basically Warren Ellis isn't writing about Spider Jerusalem and his city. He's writing about us. He's writing about our time, our city, our cities, and the way that they are. And I think that's pretty appropriate. And it's a 19-year-old comic now. It was originally released in 1997. I recommend people read it if they can. 60 issues. It's not too hard. Until next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Like it if you liked this video. Comment if you have anything to say. If you want, if you want more politics, let me know. Subscribe if you want to see stuff more like this, or if you like gaming videos, because I do those too still. I'll see you next time. Peace.